Friends with the win. For Ryan Boyle, Charlotte North, Dana Boyle, and our entire crew, I'm Chris Cotter. Good night from Boston. We send you to tennis.
It's a lovely way to continue celebrating Labor Day weekend by enjoying the very best players in the world, duking it out for a place in the quarterfinals here at the US Open. So nice to have you with us. Jason Roll alongside James Blake, enjoying the quality of tennis that we've seen from Alex de Minaur, who's wrapped up the opening set here against Daniil Medvedev, 6-2. Time now to hand it over to our captain, Chris McKendry.
Well, what a beautiful evening in New York. The U.S. Open 2023 is a nightcap to your Labor Day weekend, we hope. The conclusion of fourth-round play with quarterfinal spots to the winners tonight. Temperatures getting into the 90s today. It'll be an added test through much of the upcoming week. Tonight, inside Arthur Ashe Stadium, crowds are flowing in, and soon to be the new world #1, Aryna Sabalenka, the Australian Open champion earlier this year, meets Daria Kasatkina. And a big matchup on the men's side. Jannik Sinner sits a match win away from a rematch with Carlos Alcaraz. But first tonight, it's going to be the one-time finalist here, Alexander Zverev, for the young Italian to take on. It's primetime at the U.S. Open, and it starts right now, golden hour.
To Primetime at the U.S. Open, presented by IBM.
Beautiful look at the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. It is huge, and we need every square inch for the crowd tonight. Primetime at the U.S. Open, presented by IBM. Kasatkina meets Sabalenka, who will be new world #1 next Monday after Iga Swiatek's loss last night. Followed by Zverev and Sinner. Zverev's playing top 10 ball once again. Jannik Sinner, a big threat to Djokovic and Alcaraz here at the U.S. Open. I welcome you to the American Express Fountain Plaza studio, just to the side of the main entrance to the biggest stadium in tennis. Hi, everyone, and welcome. You got a pair of Chris's going tonight. Not a difficult thing to say with our crew, but Chris Eubanks, good to have you.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm Chris McKendry. Coming up tonight, the new world #1, Aryna Sabalenka, is getting set to walk on court, followed by Sinner and Zverev. Gosh, that could be a final.
As a personality, he's an all-around talent, and we were so lucky to be able to witness some great shot making today by the 20-year-old.
He's outstanding. He's now won 40 of his first 48 Grand Slam tennis matches.
It's amazing to see how he's been able to complete such a very well-rounded career at such a young age.
Just 20 years old. He's the youngest ever #1 seed here at the U.S. Open. He'll drop to #2 in the world after Djokovic after this tournament, but I think a tournament title by either one, they'll take that. This is where we stand with the draw quarterfinals. Medvedev and de Minaur over still playing their match, with de Minaur taking that first set, and Zverev Sinner. Other than that, Chris, we have the quarterfinalists.
It's a beautiful quarterfinalist, especially if you're a fan of American tennis. You know, we've oftentimes have talked about building up this Alcaraz and Djokovic matchup. We saw it at the final of Wimbledon. We saw a great match at the final of Cincinnati. There's some other names in there that are trying to disrupt that from happening. So we're going to see which of the Americans, if Taylor Fritz can go out there and cause an upset against Novak Djokovic. Personally, I'm excited to watch the Frances Tiafoe-Ben Shelton match. That's one that I'm looking forward to tuning into. But all of these matchups are great. Can't wait to see this Zverev Sinner match tonight. So many great matchups all around. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, tonight, Zverev Sinner. Tomorrow afternoon is the Novak Djokovic and Taylor Fritz match, and then the American twin bill of Shelton and Tiafoe get the nighttime tomorrow night. Moving on to the women. Americans already clashed, and that was earlier today with Jess Pegula and Madison Keys. one of the best matches, Chris, that Madison said she thinks she's played in years.
And I would agree. I mean, let's not forget, Madison Keys is a former finalist here on these very courts, so you can say that she's definitely confident in Arthur Ashe Stadium, and she came out and played like it today. She spoke at great length after the match about the game plan to try to be the aggressor, look to come to net as much as possible, not allow Jessica Pegula to get comfortable from the baseline, and I would say Maddie executed that game style exceptionally well. So much variety, using the slice, even saw the drop shot a few times, which, if you know Madison, that's something that you don't see very often. So very, very pleased with how she's playing. I'm sure she, her fiance Bjorn Fratangelo, her trainer Rockne Marshall are all very pleased with the progress that she's making, and she is going to be a threat if she keeps playing like that.
I thought it was interesting to hear her say, I had to make it messy against Pegula because she'd like it if I'm grooving her hard shots. She'll get in a rhythm. I had to do something a little different. There you go, quarterfinalists for the women. I'm looking at the top lines there. Ostapenko and Coco Gauff. That was supposed to be Iga Swiatek, according to the draw. Now it's Ostapenko, or took her out, taking on Coco tomorrow. That's at high noon. The Florida girl wanted the heat. She's going to get it.
And I think she's very, very happy with that scheduling decision. She's playing so well so far this year. Ostapenko played exceptionally well last night. One of the best ball strikers on tour. But you got to think, in front of a packed Arthur Ashe Stadium, 12 noon, one of the hottest days of the tournament, you have to give the advantage to Coco Gauff. She's so confident, playing so well, having so much fun on the court, which is something that she's been really trying to focus on over these past few weeks. And you got to think there's going to be a lot of energy in that stadium tomorrow. I'm looking forward to checking out that match.
But first, it's tonight, and it's the new world number one come Monday. This is the first match Sabalenka is playing as number one in the world and taking on a dangerous player in Kasatkina. That's coming up next, Arthur Ashe Stadium. Also, we'll keep an eye on Medvedev and Demonor. Demonor 6-2 in that first set against a champion here just 2 years ago. We're back with live tennis after this.
Primetime at the U.S. Open is presented by IBM. IBM, let's create. And in part by Burger King and American Express. The advantage is yours at the U.S. Open when you're with Amex.
Stay in alignment, yeah, yeah. So my blessings, they find me, yeah, yeah, yeah. The old me's behind me, yeah, yeah. While I glow up divinely, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a good, 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 good day. It's gonna be a good day.
So 7 of the 8 spots have been filled. We're just waiting for one more, and that's going to be decided on Ashe. First up here in this great stadium, Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. Cliff Drysdale along with Mary Jo Fernandez. And Mary Jo, I'm wondering, we've talked a lot about the fact that Sabalenka is going to be number one in 7 days' time when the new rankings come out. Does that put a little pressure on her, maybe?
It can, for sure. I mean, I think for Sabalenka, she's been knocking on the door of that number one ranking in the last couple Grand Slam events. So she's either going to feel a little bit pressure, or maybe it frees her up because now she's accomplished such a big feat. I mean, what a milestone for her and her career to have that achievement. She's this year's winner in Australia. She's been so consistent at the majors and throughout the tour. So this is a big deal for her.
Huge power quotient from her, of course. But what does Kasatkina have that is going to challenge her here tonight?
I love Kasatkina's game. She's a little bit old school. She stands a little further back. She gives you some loopy shots. She'll drop shots, slice. She'll sneak in. So she's got to mix it up. She's got to try to make Sabalenka a little bit uncomfortable. But as we've seen so often, Cliff, when Sabalenka plays, the match is usually on her racket.
Wondering what Renee Stubbs thinks, because I heard you earlier, Renee, say that you thought that Kasatkina has got the kind of game that could be really challenging for soon-to-be world's number one.
Absolutely, Cliffy, and I think one of the reasons why it's super humid and hot tonight, so the conditions will be quite heavy. I think Kasatkina stands so far back behind the court on the serve, so if Sabalenka is not serving absolutely pinpoint, that return will come back all night long, and that will give Sabalenka a lot of anxiety, knowing that she's not getting a lot of free points on her serve. This is going to be a great match between a lot of counter-punching, variety against the big hitting of Sabalenka.
Speaking of anxiety, it was Sabalenka that had a lot of anxiousness about her serve, but that this year seems to have been getting a lot better. We will see. First ball.